Some days we should.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to 7 Unlimited Wisconsin's March meeting after the snowstorm. What a crowd. You can tell it's close to the season. We got two guest speakers tonight, so I'm going to move things along on the front end. I know Mike's helping with memberships, and Bradley's got a lot of stuff over there. First thing was Moment of Sunshine. I know we heard about Bridgeholm. He's having some health issues, the owner of Sequest Lures. Unsure, it doesn't sound like he may make it to the vendor swap meet this year because of it. Any other Sunshine? You know, we lost a Sobchak, actually. They confirmed her identity this morning. She was the one who fell in the lake down in Kenosha, too. The one they pulled the body out last 2 weeks ago, but they just identified her as well. Any others? Well, hopefully we see a bounce back from Rich, whether he's here or not. He's been a longtime supporter of our swap meet event. Mike, membership. Looks like you've been busy over there today.
Yeah, a little bit.
He said, don't bother me.
Yeah.
Membership is moving along. Could always be moving faster. If
Buddy.
you've got crews that you're planning on fishing the ultimate, or not the ultimate,
Jackpot.
but jackpot series with, get them registered ASAP. It doesn't worse than having 50 registrations come in the week before the tournament. Certainly would be appreciated, let's put it that way, and it's not going to make any difference as far as how much they gotta pay or anything, it's the same renewal fees.
Yep.
We're looking at actually dropping those members that are more than 60 days delinquent with renewing their membership. That doesn't mean they can't still renew and whatnot, it just means they won't be on the membership roster. Which doesn't help the club at all, because if we need to be politically active with an event like the harbor thing going on down there, and they say, how many members you got? You know, we pull
Not
up
you,
the list,
Gary. We're talking
instead of
about
being
March.
150, it's only 50, you know? So try to get them in, talk to your teams, and encourage them to register ASAP. Go online to the club website, click on your membership, and just fill it out online. It'll come through to me as an email, and they pay online, no cash involved, and we'll get them taken care of. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Membership forms are over there. You can also do it online. Either way. Is there a Hutchison or other fishermen that get out and have time to get out and go fishing that can give us a fishing report?
Daniel's off.
How's it going?
Oh.
This is great.
Fishing's great. Yeah, weather's probably great too, huh? No, what's going on out there?
Bronco.
Yeah?
They're catching them in all the typical places. Near shore.
So you're saying it was a day like where someone like me can't miss, we can still catch?
Yeah,
We ain't that good yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. No matter how fast.
we had 5 in the box before we get our
Yeah. Did you dump the cooler? No.
No, we didn't want to for a while. It took longer to get there than it was to catch them right now.
Yeah, and I saw Lonnie was working the river as well as a beautiful picture. I meant to put it up there, just ran out of time. Big Boy, his guide service, he had a beautiful picture of a fish they caught with the mountains of Racine in the background. So if you haven't seen his photos, it's a great one. It's like him and Carly in a photo holding fish, and like it's got this beautiful mountain range in the background. So just screwing with people. But yeah, we're almost here. For those of you who can get out.
Josh,
Yes.
Those that want to venture, guys are limiting out 3 and 4 man limit in less than 3 hours with
The coho.
25 perch for each person and 5 cohos in Gary. And if you want to know where to go, I can tell you.
You got some experience. Yeah. Bradley gave me a thesis. Good morning, everyone. It's been a busy last couple of months, and he has a lot of things to share with you all about the Jackpot series. So, a few things to cover. Number one, we will start off with the payout structure with expansion on the potential places to win. And kind of jumps into this segment with more places for cash and prizes. Instead of only the top 3 winning cash and fourth walks away with some prize, we've expanded it to be the top 7 that have cash payouts, and I'll jump to an example over here. And then prizes for 8th, 9th, and 10th, potentially further depending on what they get for a product, but that's what's set up for now from what I remember. Not only that, the biggest fish of each of the 5 species at each event will also win a cash prize, and the biggest overall for each of the 4 events walks away with a bonus $50. They're attempting to do product prizes in 8th through 10th as well, so again, you'd have a lot more ways to win on each event. You can see the current payment format on the slide based on the assumption of 25 boats, targeting roughly a total of $10,000 for all 4 events in the series payouts. However, there is a chance the payouts could be bigger if the funds permit. More boats, or if more boats signed up than expected. 2, with the expansion of the payouts and ways to win, we will have a slightly new way on how we weigh in and run the operation at the pavilion. We will supply colored rubber bands at the captain's meeting to have those colored go on any biggest potential fish of species, then original tan ones on the rest of your best 5. A reminder of change: your biggest species doesn't have to be part of your 5 anymore to provide you flexibility. So where that might come in is if you have Lakers and Kings for your 5, but you still have a decent sized brown trout that you want to weigh. It's under the 5 fish, but it's still a good brown or something of the sort. All we ask is that the rubber bands be removed from the fish before you send them through the grinder to help keep that grinder operational and don't damage it. We will also be running 2 weigh-in scales instead of 1. It's something I brought up just with the number of different fish that are going to be weighed for the event. A boat team would go to the first scale to weigh in their best 5, and then move to the second scale for the individual additional fish for each of those 5 species. This will help the flow move through a little bit quicker, and boats could skip to the second scale if they don't think they had a chance to win anything in the regular Big 5. With all that would be going on, we are looking for some help to make sure the event runs smoothly. We're gonna need radio check-in and out, and need it from radio check-in and out till the end of the cleanup of the event. We need volunteers to do check-in, check-out, set up the lunch table, weigh-in scales, data entry, and the fish cleaning, of course, to be donated to Salmon-Rama for the first 2 legs and the Vets Outreach for the last 2. And the end of the day cleanup for the site as well. Please come and see either Bradley, Dan, or Nick if any of you would be willing to volunteer while out. Lastly, we have we're pretty much full in full mode for fundraising right now. They have a few events within the next month, starting with the poker days, which you guys have seen the post for. And I think I have that on the next slide, the first one. He has 2 dates set up with the local poker club in Kenosha, willing to run the tournament. Each of those, March 15th being the first one, and the second one will be April 12th. They're both going to be at the Fireside Restaurant in Kenosha. Both dates are set up similarly. The only difference is that the first one will be a $120 buy-in, and the second one will be a $150 buy-in. He does have flyers here. I think they've been dropped on the tables. If you'd like to take one home to consider attending. If they pan out well, there's a chance that they'll run those a little more continuously with the help of that poker club beyond that. Also, March 22nd, he will be present at the Sheboygan Swap Meet running various raffles. He has a couple raffles today for $5 a line to start, and still has a few spots available for the March Madness strip card as well, if interested. So see Bradley for those. I think that was oh yeah, and then the last is anybody donating random gear for him to take to the swap meets. Those funds are going straight back into the jackpot event. Yes, sir.
Go back to the payout.
Yes, sir.
So this is also going to be a point series too. So at the end of the series, the leaders and the points for the top 7 are also going to get back as a payout as well.
Correct. Yeah. So there's the 4 events with all these payouts, plus the series finale with all the same payouts effectively, except for the 5 big species go away, and this goes up, I think, to $175 for the biggest fish of the entire season, based on the projection that was used up there.
So yeah, for the cost per event, when you
Yeah.
break it down, nothing on the lake comes close to our prize structure and what you can win.
Not to mention a meal.
And I mean,
You know, the meal and camaraderie.
So this whole thing is to give back to our members.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be a fun time, trying to get back more fun, less serious. Everybody's got a chance to win stuff. And you can win multiple times per event.
Yeah. Any other questions? Otherwise, I know Bradley's got sign-up sheets here. I dropped mine off and registered first. And you can also do it online. Registration is active on the website now, and the rules are up there unless there's any tweaks that you guys had in the last like 5 days. But the most recent copy has been put up just so
I think we're pretty set on our rules.
perfect. Mr. Jim, something's going on in July.
Yeah. No sleep. Again, this year, we will be going back to the 10-day festival, 9-day tournament. We have secured financing for fireworks on the first day.
Yep. There are copies of that flyer on the table if anybody wanted to look at them more closely.
We will be having bands also every single night except for the final Sunday, which is the awards.
Yep.
So, we have secured our main sponsor, that being Yamaha, again, is on board. So I'm sure everybody's excited to hear that. Other than that, we are still looking for people to help with volunteering. We need people to help cook, serve food, bartend, help with the veterans, get their fish cleaned, bagged up, all of that. The veterans outing looks like it's going to be larger this year. They contacted me today. They want to reserve 12 charter boats instead of the typical 10. So that is really good for the whole community. These people come in from all over the Midwest, not just Wisconsin. They book motels, visit, frequent the restaurants. Family and friends come. They go and shop on Main Street. So we're really excited that this is going to be continuing and getting larger. So we're working on getting the parking lot, the fees waived due to the fact that it's really hard for the veterans to sign up for parking fees online because a lot of them don't even have cell phones. So just a few things we're working on. So if you see an older person in your area or district, especially with elections coming, they'll be out and about. Make sure you let them know that this event is drawing people to the community and we need some help with making it a little bit smoother of a transition for them to come down.
Yep.
Other than the veterans outing, the final day raffle, we're still soliciting donations as far as prizes. And again, probably the biggest thing is sign up, take a shift. Get your group, pick one day, one afternoon, one morning, help us weigh the fish, help us serve all the beverages and the food and all that good stuff. So, other than that, $50,000 guaranteed first place again. So we're pretty much up and going and set for the event, which is only, it's a little over 4 months away now.
Yep. Lily's going around with some of the sponsor letters. Somebody, I think 1 or 2 people asked for some to be brought tonight. So I've got the old version for 2025, but I also printed like 40 of the new ones that we just did, the single sheeters. So if you guys have opportunities to talk to your employers, talk to business contacts or other donors, grab some of these and get them in touch with Jim.
One more thing, our Facebook page is extremely active. We have a great deal of followers.
Yep.
When you see a post on there with a sponsor, like, share, show them some support because it makes our life a lot easier when we go back to next year. If you're at their establishment, make sure you thank them for participating and helping us out because without them, we would not have a festival. It would just be a tournament. So,
Yep.
we're really making this into a family-oriented event. We take a lot of pride in something for everybody there. And to continue this, we need the support from the community. So, also gun raffle tickets. If you haven't gotten any, get a hold of me or Todd and we'll get you set up. But we really need to get those sold. That money goes directly into the payouts. And we want to keep that 10th through 20th to enhance the tournament itself. So, any questions?
No, but you were talking about thanking sponsors. There's one other group I'd like to push a thank you and ask you guys to get involved with is there's concern that the Racine County Parks Board may not reinstall the docks from what we're understanding in the small basin launch along the west wall, which is Festival Park side, and that north wall along the peninsula. For our vets outing, that is a massive shortfall amongst all the other people that it would impact, not related to our club.
Why?
Because I think we said somebody who knows.
That bad of shape.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
falling
they're
apart, they're
defective.
deteriorating.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
They're in horrible shape. We're actually, I just spoke to the park manager today, we're looking at fixing them up to the best of our ability. We're definitely gonna have some docks put in. We just, the ones that
That's-
sink, we don't know if we can budget to replace this year, but we're gonna plan for next year to get all new docks in and make it better and bigger for everyone.
So-
Is there any grants that we as an organization can apply to help out? The DNR,
Possibly,
anything?
possibly grants for docks and I saw after and they're running it.
So if you know of one we can apply for, we'll have Josh do the work.
I have some grant writing experience. Yeah.
So we're working closely with Receiver Parks Department. on
Great.
getting that installed.
I greatly appreciate that update because I did get the confirmation from them that it was being discussed. And we sent in a letter sharing some of our concerns and they said thank you and we'll get back in touch with you.
We're working through it right now.
Good. And if
they
there's any
swing-
major updates, can you just touch base with me?
Can't they swing some from the marina that is taken out?
So the old docks do not suffice for the layout that's needed and the makeup that's needed. Because they're bent and they're positioned and installed differently than our dock system. So if it was as easy as just putting those docks that they wouldn't think.
And they've been, for the last 2 years, they had money allocated to have those repaired, but they couldn't find anybody to repair those.
They're just in that
Yeah,
condition.
yeah.
They're unrepairable. They need replaced.
So is there still the expectation that we're hoping to somehow retain them for the year?
Most likely not all of them, but there will be docks put in.
Okay,
There
that's
will
what
be
we're
docks
hoping.
put in.
If nothing else, if they get that west wall against Festival Park, that's where we load our vets with the paramedics and the firefighters. And for safety, having, if you've got boats coming in on emergency, that's usually where they'll go to crash and tie off. So that's appreciated even if we just retain that one wall.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Dale, I saw your hand go up real quick.
If anybody has an extra raffle for the gun, I can take it today, tonight, take one,
Oh, right there. There's your guys. Todd and Jim can get,
got in there,
oh,
so.
I'll have one later today. Oh, we got one there. Back the hero wears a cape. All right. Welcome. It's like, I thought I put a welcome page with your name on it. All right, well, it does. It's on the bottom. It's barely visible. Everybody, I'd like to introduce our first guest speaker, but the lead meteorologist from, do you call it the Milwaukee office or the Sullivan office?
Either one, yeah.
Either one, but we're coming into storm season and out of the blue, Kevin asked if he could come speak to us and we're like, heck yeah. Thank you. So,
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm excited to be here. There's no winter storm this time around, so yeah, I'm a lead meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, Sullivan, and we're going to kind of just talk about weather basics and upcoming years. First off, I always like to get an idea of what the National Weather Service does. This is our mission. We are part of the federal government. We fall under the Department of Commerce, under NOAA, and then there's us, National Weather Service. But everything we do is publicly available data, and we're doing this all with this mission in mind. Mainly it boils down to protection of life and property. We're here, we're doing the weather, we're doing the warnings, we're doing the watches to keep people safe, get that information out there to let you know, especially on the Great Lakes. We're at our office, we're responsible for the open waters of Lake Michigan. And so we want to get you that information ahead of time and when inclement weather is coming. And we'll talk about that through the presentation. So again, everything we do is keep people safe. We don't care about how we get it to you or who spreads the word. Clubs like this are a great source. We work with local partners, the Coast Guard, TV Mountain, all of that, to get the word out to keep people safe. That's everything we do is based on that. So who are we? NOAA National Weather Service. There are 122 offices across the country. We'll talk about what our little area in the next slide, but we're all responsible for different areas. We all have different areas of responsibility. When I first started, I actually started off, is there a laser out there? Yeah, I started off down here on the Gulf Coast in Corpus Christi, Texas. So we were dealing with marine down there, but it was a little bit different. It's Gulf Marine and hurricanes. I actually went through Hurricane Harvey there. So Marine Partners, it's a big business down there. It's a big business up here. So we're doing everything we can to keep you guys safe. But a day in the life of National Weather Service, we work 24-hour shifts, 365 days a year, 7 days a week. And we're mainly doing the forecast, the warnings, and we're pretty much the baseline for all weather when it comes to the forecast and information. But we also do data collection, radar. We maintain the radar systems. We maintain observation systems at the airports, the automated sensors. We take care of those. But recently, within the last decade or so, we've kind of migrated a little bit more than just doing the forecast and pushing it out. It's actually going out, meeting with our partners, and working with them. That's our decision support services. So now, before we just used to send that information out from our office, now we're actually talking to the emergency managers, the Coast Guard. Hey, this is what we're expecting, kind of putting it in plain terms so they can understand, so they can make the best decisions to keep people safe. So that's a little bit about what we do. And again, we're the ones mainly, the big thing that we do, and coming up is with severe weather season, is we do the watches and warnings. So here's our office. Again, 122 offices across the country. Our area of responsibility is here in southeast Wisconsin. So 20 counties here, from Kenosha all the way up to Sheboygan, up through the Dells, down through Lafayette, Iowa County, and along the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Again, our office is over in the middle of the cornfield, but we are responsible for the marine zones around here. And again, 24-hour operations. There's someone always at the office monitoring what's going on. And if there's any inclement weather expected, we're getting those products out, getting that message to our partners to get people safe so they can make the best decision possible. And we do that with 20 fully staffed. We have 24 dedicated staff members. We have a handful that actually maintain the equipment, so a lot of computer software, a lot of computer screens. You can see this is our operations here. Maintaining that, getting that information, model data, radar data, observations, all into our system so we can get that information out. And then we also have the ones that maintain the radar, observation equipment at the airports to keep it up and running, because we need 24-hour operation or 24-hour observations to help. So, and that's where the radar is around here. Our radar is located just at our office. It's up on the hill and right on the Waukesha County, Jefferson County line. There are other offices in Wisconsin. You got 5 other ones. You got the one we cover southeast. You got La Crosse that covers southwest and west central. Twin Cities covers the west central. Duluth covers up toward northwest, and then Green Bay covers the northeast, along with the Green Bay area. Marquette also covers a little bit of the Bay of Green Bay as well. So we also maintain the forecast. We do the forecast for the waters, Lake Michigan as well. A little complicated for the overall general day-to-day forecast. Our office is the ones that do the open water forecast, but when it comes to special marine warnings or small craft, we're the ones responsible for this zone. So 5 nautical miles out along here, we do the small craft advisories, and then we do our
Open water.
yeah, the open waters, blanking right now. Special marine statement, sorry. It's been a long day for me, and I'm going on a midnight shift after this, so bear with me. So we do that. We're responsible for that, so when the warnings come out. Oh, this slide got messed up somehow. But this was all the offices with their phone numbers showing across the Great Lakes. So if you're traveling lake to lake, you get that information from there. Go on our website, you get that information and their phone numbers. We're publicly available. Someone's always there to answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you ever have a question, a marine question, feel free to give us a call. But so that's a little bit about the National Weather Service. Now just kind of diving into, like, what do we look at when we do the forecast? What are we looking at? Keep people safe. Main things are high pressure, low pressure. Those are your big storm systems. Mainly looking at low pressure. Like, we got a pretty good system that's coming up on Friday. We may even get some severe weather.
Cyclone.
Yeah, so are you going? I don't know if you're chasing it or not. But.
I have an appointment in Clinton, so I'm in the right spot already.
So we're the ones monitoring that. We're working with the other offices, collaborating a consistent forecast to let you know when to expect the bad weather. It's going to be windy. So then when you get high pressure, that's when you get the dry air. It sinks and keeps things pretty cool. Bluebird sky days. But again, we're also monitoring where the fronts are, where the temperature changes are, warm front, cold front, wind shifts, all that stuff. And that all kind of boils down to the 3 main things right here: pressure, temps, moisture, and winds. Those are kind of the core basic parameters that we look at. Everything's pretty much derived from that in our models, in our forecasts. Everything's derived from that. So we're kind of looking at that, not just at the surface, but we also have to look up through the atmosphere. Because atmosphere is a fluid. It ebbs and flows. It acts like the Great Lakes. So we kind of monitor how it goes, but it's across the whole globe. So that is what we do with our forecast, mainly looking at those 4 parameters. And we do that with all these tools. So we got our models. Everyone's probably heard of the different models, GFS, European, the NAM, but there's actually a ton more models out there. And again, those are just derived products based on our other observations of what to expect down the line. And we got some that go out a day. We got some that go out 2 weeks. The ones that are closer, within 1 to 3 days, those are the more accurate ones. You get higher resolution information from there. Ones that go out 2 weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks, you lose that information because things start to kind of vary off because we don't have what to expect, those baseline. But we do that with our observation systems here. These are we call these ASOSs, automated sensors. These are located at airports. Every airport usually has one or something similar. And they take those observations, wind, pressure, temperature, dew point. Some of them even have moisture, they have visibility as well. And all that information gets put into the model. Same with, we got marine observations at lighthouses, and in the warm season, we have buoys. Could use more buoys. That information is vital for us.
There's a cool one 6 miles out of Racine.
We use that all the time. So,
I was gonna ask that to segue. You use any of the
Right?
wave data from the Atwater and our buoy just to help add to your
yes,
model?
that is our verification. That is the only way we know what the wave heights are from those buoys and that information. Yeah, we work with the National Data Buoy Center. That's part of the National Weather Service.
And use it for the predictions and whatnot.
Yeah, so all of our predictions start at a baseline. What is observed, and then they go in there, and then they also look at how it's performed in the past, and then that can kind of give the trend with it. So yes, buoy data is vital. We definitely use everything and anything that we can. So other tools, we got satellite. And then we got radar. So all of this kind of pulls into one that we can do the forecast with. So here's just an example of how the different sensors that we have at those towers. So I will say wind is a big one. I know I'm an inland fisherman. So I know wind is kind of a big thing, but you have to be wary of where you're getting your wind information from. Most of our ASOS sensors here, they're 10-meter wind, so a 30-foot wind. But when you get to a lighthouse, they're a little bit taller, so you just have to remember what level they're at. And then difference with the buoy. Buoys are a little bit they're lower to the surface. So just be aware of the different heights of where those winds are coming from. So, our models. So yeah, we take all that information, a lot of observations, a lot of model data, and we put it all together. Now, like I said, back in when I started my career in 2016, we had a handful of models. Now we have hundreds of models that kind of tell us what. It's a lot of information. How do you pare that down? And models are getting better. We have stronger supercomputers that are giving us more accurate information with the models, but that's still a lot of information. How is this one performing versus that one? One says this, one says that. Which one do you go with? So it's a lot of information that's coming at you. It's like drinking from a fire hose. So we really have been working on, within the last probably 5 to 10 years, on how do we digest all that information? Because there's just so much out there. And really the answer is statistics. We do something where we take models, we run them 100 different scenarios, and then what is the mean of that one? What's the worst case of that one? What is, the low end, like when it comes to precip? How low, like what is the baseline of the lowest amount of rain that we're expected to see, and then what is the worst case? Same happens with winter storms. We call those ensemble data. So really kind of paring that down, looking at the statistics of it. And it's still kind of a newer thing for us to evolve with because it's a constantly evolving science. So really putting it together, we're getting new information every day, new different tools, and it constantly changes. So we're learning as it comes out. So, but it's not as simple as throwing a dart at a board. It's like, oh, that's the high today. It's really kind of diving into the statistics in the background of it. And once we get that, we do our forecast. Again, we do two main forecast packages, one during the morning, one during the overnight shift, and then we tweak it throughout the day. And then we try to put it in a digestible format for people to understand so they can get it. And one of the big ones that we use is our point forecast page. That is the one that gives you hour by hour based on what our forecast is. but we also try to put it into our like graphics so people can kind of understand just by looking at one, get a general sense of what to expect. So it's a lot to kind of boil down into one thing. And when it comes to our forecast, we're usually looking at an area. We do things based on a grid system, so about 2.5 kilometer grid system. So when our forecast, you know, especially here along the lake, it gets tricky, especially this time of year. It's cooler by the lake. You get any easterly component off the lake's sitting at 39, 40 degrees right now, or mid 30s, so, right? So we get any wind off that's going to keep things cooler. But just inland, if you don't have it, it's going to be warmer. So when you're looking at a forecast, also you have to know which grid that you're looking at. Because again, just 2 or 3 grids down inland, it's going to be a lot different than right on the lake. So the next couple slides, I'm going to just kind of give you the information of where to get this weather information. Again, we're the federal government. All of our information is publicly available. If you know where to find it, it's free to access. So these have a bunch of links in here. I don't know, do you send out the presentation afterwards so people can access?
They can if they want.
Okay. So there's a lot of different links in here that you can click and they'll give you this information. Weather Service does not have its own app. A lot of the apps that you do use is using our information, but there's no specific National Weather Service app that comes from us. But it does use our information. So these are some of the main pages. WPC is a good one. You want to know where those high pressure and low pressure systems are? This is the page to go on. They also focus on where the rain forecast, but it's a big picture, just general picture. Storm Prediction Center, if you're looking for, especially in the warm season, this is where it gives you that idea of where we're expecting thunderstorms or where the worst may be. So if you actually look at it today, they do it on a scale of 0 to 5. For Friday, we actually have a risk, 2 out of 5 risk for inland areas of Wisconsin. Again, the lake's going to play a big role in the weather there. And then our local page. Go on there, all of our information. We have river data, we have Lake Michigan data, inland data, and you get hour-by-hour forecast all on the page. So definitely explore those. But you want to get your Great Lakes observations. Go here, a lot of different points to get it. So National Data Buoy Center, again, is part of NOAA, but also Galero is part of NOAA. So we're all using the same information, and they're also just displaying it in different ways. So these are all good places to get your marine observations. Seagull's another good one that has recently come out that we use quite frequently. And then we also created we have a Great Lakes page that has information. I like this page. This is good situational awareness, gives you the current ops. What I like about this page is it actually gives you ship observations, what's going on across the lake. So definitely good places to check what the current conditions are. You want to get a little bit more into the forecast, water temperatures at the lower underneath or sea surface temperatures. Galero's a great source to go. They also do some currents and the wave model data as well. So most of our wave forecast is based off the Wave Watch 3 model off of Galero. So this is a very good website to find. A lot of good information there. Ice forecasting, that's another one. This year we actually had ice. This was from a couple weeks ago. So Lake Michigan, it was actually above average for ice coverage for the year. But right now we're kind of in the downward trend. Things are going to start to cool off. I think this actually is from a few weeks ago. But this is all clear. A lot of the ice in the southern part of the lake has been. But there's a lot of different places to get this information, see where it is. This time of year, again, we're on the downward trend. But we got a couple different websites you can go up there and kind of see what the ice is. Now you want to get your day-to-day forecasts. I'll go here to our website, our weather.gov or weather.gov Milwaukee or any of the other Great Lakes offices have this. Most of them will have this nearshore forecast. This is just looking at out to 5 nautical miles. And then we have the open water forecast. This is the one that's done from our office, gives you an idea of what to expect, mainly winds, waves. And then we also do a little synopsis, kind of giving you the idea of what we're thinking. Our nerdy talk about what to expect over the lake. Like, are we expecting gales? Are we expecting storm force gusts? And this is what it looks like, just kind of general text products that give you kind of a broad look of it.
So do you do the open, who does the nearshore?
Each office that surrounds the lake. So we have, our counties that we go out to 5 nautical miles for those counties. Green Bay covers it, out to 5 nautical miles for their counties, and so on around the lake. So again, nearshore forecast and the open water forecast, big picture kind of forecast. You want to get hour by hour data? Definitely recommend the Great Lakes portal. This is a fairly new page. I think it came out within the last 3 to 4 years. And this is going to give you that information. You could click anywhere on this map, and it'll give you a point forecast. And this is what it would look like. So it gives you what the weather, the timing, wind direction, wave direction, wind speed, wind gusts, and sky cover. And if we're expecting any precip, they'll give you there. But you can map this across the lake. So if you're going to different locations, you can get an idea what the conditions are at each location based on our forecast. So this is a very helpful one. We also have one of these for inland areas as well. So we also do the surf zone forecast. So when it comes to rip currents going out to the beach for the day, we also do that, looking at conditions, mainly onshore flow and wave heights, along with water temperatures. So we do that. We don't do this until the warm season, so Wednesday before Labor Day, and then I believe it's the last weekend through the last weekend in September. But again, text product, especially down this part of the lake. This is a big concern. We got a lot of rip current related incidents around here. So try to get this information so get people safe, so they know what to do when it happens. So another good site, you can watch it, look at it, and if you're traveling across the country, you can look at it across any of the Atlantic, Pacific, or on the Gulf. So now, warm season's coming. I'm sure we've all been stuck in a storm before, right? So this is actually why I'm here. I got stuck in a storm up in Canada. I didn't know what was expected. It was blue skies, and all of a sudden we look out the bay and it's black. And we have a squall line just rolling through. So what do you do when marine weather strikes? What are you looking for? That's why I'm here, trying to help you get the tools to be prepared and not scared. Because having a plan, knowing what to expect for the day, can help you get back to safety before it gets there. So these are the main things that we look at when it comes to marine weather: wind, waves, waterspout, hail, and fog. Lightning and cold water is another concern. These ones we have products for. These ones down here, we don't issue products for. This time of year, cold water is a big concern, because if anyone falls out of the boat and they fall into the cold water, get shocked, and it's dangerous, and it causes drowning. So there's no product for that, but you still have to be aware of it. Lightning, if there was a product for lightning, we'd be issuing so many things, our computers would be dead at this point. So mainly do it for more of the higher end impactful ones. So definitely know where to get that information. And I don't know if this video is going to play. Us? Trying to. Anyways, lightning likes to strike the tallest object out there. So in this video, if it actually played, it would actually strike this boat right here. So when you're out over the open waters, you're likely going to be the tallest object out there. And if you impact a storm, you don't want to be in that. So that's why we try to get that information out ahead of you so you get back to safe harbor. But it does happen. You do get stuck in the storm. You just got to know what to do. Don't be the tallest thing out there. If you do have a cabin, try to go indoors or get as low as you can in the boat. So again, cold water is another concern that we're this time of year that we're worried about, because it can kill. So especially even if you're in a boat and you fall out of the boat, that's the biggest concern. So again, these are all the products that we issue. I'm sure you're all pretty familiar with small craft advisories, gale warnings, storm warnings. We haven't issued a hurricane force warning since like the 20s, so we don't get those too often. But in the warm season, we're doing the special marine warnings, which is like a severe thunderstorm warning out over the water. So, but we also got advisories. So again, small craft advisories is mainly a wind and wave product, and dense fog is a visibility less than 1 nautical mile. And times a year that we issue most of these, we're coming into the foggy season. This is we tend to issue these in the springtime. So it's when the warm air moves over the cold lake. That seems to be a more favorable type of environment for our dense fog advisors. Small craft, they tend to be more in the transition season. So springtime, we start to ramp up, but then once we get to summer, when temperature and the lake start to regulate a little bit more, we don't issue quite as many, but we still do. And then we start to ramp back up in the fall through the winter. And I will say small craft advisories, I know that's a big thing that the Coast Guard looks at, because small craft conditions usually are tied to rip current conditions along the lake. So when there's small craft conditions, and it takes the Coast Guard about a half hour to respond to a recurrent incident, they usually rely on other boaters that are out there, put the call out there to go try to be first on the scene to go save whoever's out there. So I know they're constantly looking at the small craft conditions.
We do too for our tournaments. That's a cutoff for our club tournaments.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. so yeah, we're learning that the small craft does matter to people. So for us, it seems like we're constantly just issuing them, but it does matter. So again, it's here to keep people safe. And then kind of ramping up from that is the gale, storm force, and hurricane force. Again, these are kind of follow a similar trend as small craft advisories. They tend to be more the transition seasons. That's when we tend to have our windier, deeper systems. So you can see here, this is just when you see the lower amount of gale warnings issued prior to 2018. That's when the Chicago office actually did the open waters. And then once we took it over, that's where we start to see the spike for our area. Same with the storm force winds. We don't issue these quite a bit on our lake. If we do, they typically tend to happen in the fall. Lake Superior, on the other hand, they get a lot of storm force gusts up there. So, but moving into the warm weather season is a special marine warning. So 39-mile-per-hour winds or hail that's greater than 3/4 inch. That's hazardous to any boats that are out there. And so we try to get these products out as early as we can, sometimes 2 to 3 hours, because on this side of the lake, the winds move from west to east. And if you're out in the middle of the lake, you got to go west. So storm coming. So you got to try to race the storm before it gets there. The other side of the lake, you can kind of try to outrun it. So this is why we try to get this information out in advance. So again, we try to do it for hail, wind. We'll even issue it out because you'll get wind ahead of the storm. That's the outflow of it. So you can get strong winds out ahead of anything like that. And then we also do it for water spouts. Those are a little bit harder to do, but those are a little bit easier to identify if you're out there in the water. And inverse to your small craft advisories and the gale warnings, these are your warm season warnings that we issue and see quite frequently. And these will alert you on if you have a weather radio on your boat. These are the ones that kind of will ping you on that as well. So again, when it comes to thunderstorms, this is the main concern. We're looking for those 3 ingredients, the base ingredients. So that moisture, instability is really the temperature and energy it takes for a storm to get going and maintain itself, and then something to force it upward. So a front, low pressure system. We're really looking for those when it comes to our forecast. And typically this is what a thunderstorm looks like. Starts to tower up, you start to see it bubbling. So if you're looking at the sky, you start to see these puffy clouds and you start to see them get taller and taller. That's usually a sign that you got an environment favorable for thunderstorms. But what goes up must come down. So you're pulling all that warm, moist air up and then bringing rain-cooled air down to the surface. And that's where your winds are going to occur. And then if you don't have any wind shear to kind of push it off and maintain it for a long time, the storm dies. And this typically happens within about a 30-minute cycle. But again, if you add that extra wind shear component, it pushes things, offsets what's going up and what's going down, and maintains it for longer.
Do you guys pick up stuff when water spouts pop up on the lake?
We can. Webcams tend to be the best thing for us because they tend to be very small, and our radar's over on the Jefferson Waukesha County line, so it kind of shoots. We don't have a lot of radar coverage out over the middle part of the lake. So with that, it's usually a webcam or a report that comes in and helps too. If it's near shore, pretty along the coast, along the lakeshore, we have a pretty good idea. You can see rotation with it. But further out, that's when we start to lose that because they're super shallow and they're super small. So they're very difficult for us to kind of identify. So, but again, we issue these for damaging winds and hail. The main difference between damaging winds versus tornado winds is the direction that they're going. Damaging winds are really pushing that wind down to the surface and spreading it out, where a tornado or a water spout is actually pulling things together and lifting it up. So, and you can see here, this is just a quick video from Eagle Spring of what damaging winds can do. I gave a talk at the Racine Yacht Club, or no, Kenosha Yacht Club a few weeks ago, and they like to call this part the wall of white. So I'm sure a lot of you have experienced just seeing that wall of rain just kind of move in. And embedded in that, you can get those strong winds. This video will show this boat kind of flipping onto the dock here in a bit. But yeah, we don't want anyone out there. So again, trying to get this information out to get people back to safe harbor before they have to experience this.
That's when RJ loves going out fishing.
I've been looking at him the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. They know that's one of the best catches.
Here's a question. Are the small craft advisories the average of what your predictions are, or is it tilted more to like the worst case?
It's usually tilted towards the worst case. We tend, if it's like a 1 hour window of seeing like 22 knot winds or 4-foot waves, you know, we may not do a small craft, but if it's like a longer period, like 3 or 4 plus hours of it, we'll tend to do that.
They just wait for weekends.
I can't help when weather happens.
Why not? That's your job.
So, also talk about water spouts. Again, visually they're pretty easy. Water spouts tend to be weaker than tornadoes, just because they have different conditions, but you can get strong ones with it. And if you see one, definitely give us a call, because again, we don't have good radar coverage out over the lake, especially further out. If you see something, let us know. So, yeah, they're very visually appealing, and you, pretty much if you're in a boat, you can kind of see it from afar, and you know you can easily avoid it if you want.
Not when they turn towards you.
So,
10 knots, 2 miles an hour.
No, I've
and
never
again,
done this.
so again, we're trying to do everything we do. Our forecast is keep people safe. So having multiple ways of getting that information, in case one fails or you lose cell phone service, having multiple ways. NOAA weather radio seems to be the best way to get that information out over the lake. But definitely other ways. If you have cell phone service or something, an app that you trust, definitely use that, because more resources, the better to get that information. And then again, if you see something, let us know. We like reports. You give us, here's our phone number right there. Give us a call. Someone's always there to let you know what's happening. But again, mainly looking for water spouts or wind gusts. And if our forecast is off, call us. Let us know. We can adjust it. Because we like that verification. Let us know that, hey, this is happening. We want to adjust it to keep you safe. So the last thing is, again, know before you go. A lot of websites on here have the forecast. Know what the forecast is. Know what timing it is, so you can kind of adjust it. If you're out on the water and no storm's coming in at 4 o'clock, you can at least work your way back to the lake shore. But growing up, my dad was a fisherman on Lake Michigan, and he taught me to respect the lake, because things can change on a dime like that. So definitely having the tools to know what to expect and be prepared and have a plan to get to safe harbor when it does change, or if it does change, that's always the best way you can do it. So again, be prepared, not scared is what we like to say. Otherwise, if you have any questions, I'll stick around. Or you can email me if something comes up later. Feel free. There's my email address right there, and I'll happy to respond.
Kevin, as a boat, if we're stuck out there and we got to decide to power up or, humble through, let the storm pass over, is there anything that is better than not doing? Like, just powering up your engine make you more susceptible, or is it all just pure luck at that point to happenstance?
Yeah. It's tough. Even with the tornado, like if you're driving your car, what's the best way? Try to outrun it, or try to get to safety. Again, the best thing is try to avoid those situations if you can.
Oh yeah.
But it's still better to point the boat into the wind if it's a strong wind.
Yeah. You don't want to take waves broadside. That's never fun. So
Or even on the stern.
Yeah. So that's probably I know people, especially storm chasers, they point the back of their car into the wind when they get stuck by a storm. So same thing with the boat, probably be the safest thing as well. But yeah, get as low as you can. Lightning is a concern. So, but if you have a cabin, if you get inside, that would be helpful too.
Yeah,
that's what my
later
first one was.
observations.
Mm-hmm.
Are those automated or do they have them visual?
For the ships going across the lake,
Yeah.
there's an observer. There are observers for it. They also have sensors on there. So again, you have to be mindful of how tall those are, because those tend to be on the where the captain is up there. So those, and they could be 100 feet up, 60 feet up. So you just have to be aware of that. So they may be and with those, you also have to they may not be as calibrated as the ones that we can maintain here. All of our equipment have to go through regular maintenance and have to meet a certain standard. Those out of the lake, it's sometimes different. I don't know how frequent those get calibrated, but there's usually an observer out there.
All right, you said it's usually cooler in the lake and warmer in there. And I know this because it could be 85 degrees in my house and 75 down there. No wind at home, but blowing wind down here at the lake. I know that's because you're heating overground and lifting up and sucking air from over the lake to fill the void. Up and down the lake, do you see a variance of how far from shore that is noticed going up and down the lake? Is it someplace that's closer to the shoreline versus down here further away from the shoreline?
Yes, it does depend on the day, and background wind really does matter because we get lake breezes all the time this time of year. If you have a light background flow, that lake breeze can just continue to keep pushing in. But if you have something that like stronger winds, like 10 to 15 miles per hour, with any kind of west or north component kind of stopping that from going in, that can prevent it from going as far inland as Madison. And
We're
just,
talking like the place up by Sheboygan
Mhm.
or
yeah, you can have things that can stop it there, but
I mean, do you see an effect of that?
I don't think our terrain has that much of an effect. It's 300-foot difference from there to the Kettle Moraine, I think.
Yeah.
So
Even the low level winds are still a couple hundred feet up.
yeah, so it's not, you don't see it that much from photography. So
Cool. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Oh, we got one.
Manpower cuts, how is that affecting us down here? I hear you guys.
Do I need to mute the mic?
we are part of the federal government, so we've been. It does impact us. We are at the mercy of the federal budget.
Just say you don't want to stay in a budget.
It does impact us. To what extent, I really don't know. Things are still coming down each day. But one thing I can say is we've been around, National Weather Service was founded federally in 1870. We've been around since that long. Actually, a local Wisconsinite was the one that got us into the federal government, Lapham. He's the one that proposed the budget to put the National Weather Service in the federal agency. So we actually have a little local history with that. But we've been around for 155 years, and I know what we do and who our partners that we work with rely on us, people like you, the public, both sides of the aisle. So I think we will be here. I believe that. I believe the National Weather Service will still be here.
The airlines, I know they have the winds aloft. Direction, travel, speed, and are you the ones that put that out each day?
So we do forecasting at the airports. They're called terminal aerodrome forecasts. So it's mainly for pilots taking off and landing. So we're the ones that do that here. We do that locally. But when they're en route, we have an aviation weather center. They're in Kansas City. They're part of National Weather
But
Service.
that's part of you.
That's part of it. Yeah, yeah. They're the ones kind of doing the forecast in between the airports. Yeah. So that comes from our office as well, or our agency as well. And we do work with the FAA. So down in Chicago, we have forecasters that are actually briefing for the Chicagoland area, weather information directly. So aviation and weather go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's
So.
To the control.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. So.
Yeah, he's got a long night. He has to go first because he's got the overnight shift.
Thanks a lot for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Bradley has a random number for one of these because we didn't have another full card, so he has to have a witness here, and I'll hit spin. Light turn, and you can look and vouch on the number. Number one, which is Irv. Irv. Do you ever not win? Briggs. We had 3 people here and he still brings it. All right, so Irv got with the Lonnie tubes.
You're hot right now, Irv. Let's go.
Yeah, that was the Lonnie too. Okay.
Not tomorrow.
And now he's doing the crankbait card. And that is Nick. Well, Nick bought like half the card, so good. The odds are in your favor. Nick got the walleye crankbaits, and then said Jim, you already took care of yours. You said some gloves was the winner.
Yeah.
All right, so that one's done. Bradley has one more Coho Flash shirts that was already partially filled out, so there's a few spots left on that one. Is it 5 a spot? Yeah, 5 a spot. Anybody want to get on some like action flashers and stuff? That'll still be out there. To keep us moving in the meantime, we're gonna go straight into number 2. Always number 1 with us. So, longtime partner of Salmonorama, Salmon Unlimited. Please welcome Carrie Reed.
Thank you, everyone. Some of you know me, some of you don't. For those that don't, my name is Carrie Reed. I manage 3 Point Marina. I've been managing the property for ever, for almost 13 years, actually. So back in 2013, our company took over the property. Racine County actually became on as an assistant with Racine County to assist them and strategize with them on the best way to proceed with running the marina efficiently, providing the services that boaters want, and really trying to turn the marina around. When I first came on in 2013, we were actually below 20% occupancy. We were desolate. We were dying. The marina, they didn't know if they were going to be able to keep the doors open. So we came on, and within 12, 13 years, we're actually almost 75% occupancy. So we're very happy with the strides that we made with the occupancy, and we believe that we turned the service levels around, and boaters, for the most part, I believe, are truly happy. We do our best there. So as if you guys have seen the marina recently, you notice that a quarter of the docks are gone. There's a big gap in the marina. So Racine County finally has approved a revitalization for the property, which is very much needed. I'll show you that in the slides to come. The docks were falling apart. They were deteriorating. They truly broke apart over the last 2 years. Docks.
We floated away.
Docks re-floated into other docks. Boats were smashing. We're lucky nobody died, truly. So it needed to happen. So we are moving forward with a 4-year renovation. And the reason we're doing 4-year renovation is to ensure that we never have to displace a boater outside of the harbor. It's going to get real cozy over the next 4 years. And a lot of personalities are really going to have to get along. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. But it's very much needed for the safety and the security of the harbor, and to really update the marina to make it sustainable for the next 30 years. So reasons behind a renovation. The wood decking, it's a 40-year-old property. Truly, the marina was built in 1987 with a life expectancy of 25 years. Where you're almost 40. So the county should have, the original company organization that was managing the property was Skipper Buds. They had a 25-year management agreement with the county, and they ran it very well. I mean, they did a great job. It was over 100% occupancy for a very long time. I see pictures of boats tied up on the sidewalks. I mean, it was packed. It was a glory days of boating back in the late 80s, early 90s. And then it fully turned the other way. But the docks are almost 40 years old. They need a renovation. So the chain anchoring system, so all of the docks have chain anchoring systems, and the chain anchoring system connects into pilings underneath the water, and that's what holds the docks down. And those are actually starting to wither away. And because of the zebra mussels, their secretions are, the zebra mussels are attaching to the chain anchoring system, and they literally just eating away at the chain anchoring system. So with the new docks that we are looking at putting in place, we're going to have a completely different system, which is a piling system. So we won't have that issue anymore. So besides the wood decking, the docks, and the chain system, anchoring system failing, there's a lack of safety equipment, including the safety ladders. It's definitely a much needed priority within the marine environment. The fuel system, usually underground storage tanks get changed out every 20, 25 years. we're at year 40. So our insurance company continues to threaten us that they want to drop us. And there's not a lot of insurance providers that are willing to provide insurance policy for a property so close to the lake with such old underground storage tanks. So they were threatening to close us down for many years. So besides fuel system and ladders and safety equipment, we're also prone to frequent wind breaks. Obviously, they're old, the chain anchoring system is failing, and they broke apart in the last 2 years.
The fuel system is being moved to the west side, obviously.
There's reasoning for that.
Oh, of course, but is that above ground is going to take out some of that parking lot then?
No,
Oh,
no. So it's going to be put within the grass area. You have the turnaround.
yeah.
So it's going to be put in the grass area right
In
15
between
feet
them?
away from right.
All right,
And
so we
there's
keep
gonna
our
be
parking.
There's going to be 2 above ground 12,000 gallon storage tanks that will be
Yeah,
decorated.
but we just don't lose any of our
Standing
parking
on
then
the
for,
We'll never take away parking. Parking is priority at Reed
Right.
Arena, and you're the physical station, wherever else down there.
awesome.
So just to give you guys a few pictures of the dock breakaways over the last 3 years.
I remember that.
In 2023, we had 3 separate storms roll through, 5 docks rolled hard. We were very quick in responding to them, and we were able to fix the docks and get them put back together. There's nobody hurt, no boats were damaged. We just received an approval from the county board, and not even a week later, we received another storm that rolled through in 2024, and we had E8 and E10 dock broke apart. I should have took a picture of your boat, Josh. I'm
No,
sorry.
we were already moved out.
So with the insight that we already received approval for the revitalization, we did not move forward with repairing those docks. Why spend money when you don't have to? So then we started the moving process of boats. We ripped off a Band-Aid for a lot of people because there was a lot of customers that were in the same slips for 30 years. And forcing them to relocate to a new home is very hard. So I started that very hard relocation process this year, 2024. I didn't want to start it so early, but it had to happen. So in 2024, we started moving boaters out of a few docks. We did not fix those docks, but we did have 2 docks that were just unable to be fixed. The cost to get those back up just didn't make sense. So the renovations will include reducing our footprint from 921 slips to about 621 with a lot of linear side tie. We need slips that are wider. We need slips that have more power. A lot of our 40-foot slips have single 30-amp service. A lot of boats nowadays with 32, 35-foot boats are coming in that need double 30-amp. We're underpowered. Just doesn't make sense. We're changing out the piling system, obviously, instead of chain anchoring, as I mentioned, we're doing piling system. It's going to be all new decking. They're all new docks. We're ripping out all of our old decks. We're putting new docks. So it's going to be all new decking. It's going to be a new layout to ensure the marina will be viable for the next 30 years. So we have a brand new slip mix right now. Well, the marina's probably 80s, so there's a lot of 30, 35, 40-foot boats. Nowadays, the boats are increasing in size, and they're not increasing in length, they're increasing in width. So we need beamier slips, more roomier slips, so people can maneuver within them easier, and then have adequate power to plug into as well.
My beam has increased over the same years too.
They're just too big, Josh. So we're gonna have ADA compliant ramps. Currently, we don't have the ramps that wheelchairs feel comfortable going down. They're too much of a slant, obviously. So we're gonna have ADA accessible facilities, ramps, docks, bathrooms. We're gonna have obviously new slip hardware, including ladders for overboarder protection. We're gonna have synthetic decking. We're gonna have piling system. We're gonna have the new power pedestals that obviously ensure that we'll have power for all the boats coming in. We're gonna also adding a slip side sanitary pump out system. We wanna make sure boaters are not pumping their crab in the lake as much as possible, right? So we wanna ensure that. We're going to be offering still free pump outs at our fuel dock. I know we did charge the last couple of years. That will be free with a new fuel dock for anybody coming in. And then we'll have high-speed fuel pumps. We have a lot of big boats that come in because we try to keep very competitive fuel prices. And they come in from Chicago. They come in from a lot of different places to fill up with us. And some boats sit out there for 2, 3, 4 hours filling up because they're getting barely fuel per minute. So they're out there for a long time. So this is going to be a very quick fuel system to ensure boaters are getting the amount of fuel they need in time. Upland improvements besides the waterside improvements will include bathrooms. We're adding a a new boaters lounge, the main admin building. We're doing some serious work in the main admin building in general, including increasing the footprint of the prep kitchen for the restaurant, because the restaurant's doing a great job. And we want to ensure that they're happy and they have a little bit more expansion. The new slip layout, it's real tiny map if you have copies if anybody wants it. So this is here's the causeway coming down. This is obviously the west parking lot, the main parking lot, fish cleaning station, East Bathhouse, our main building. Coming off the main building is going to be called the community pier. It is very different from a lot of other marina designs. We wanted to have the community be able to walk out into the marina and have more access than they have now. So even non-boaters will be able to walk out onto this community pier and feel like they're part of the marina, take pictures, enjoy the scenery and the sights, and then maybe have beer at the brew house, maybe go over and clean their fish. So the community pier we're very excited about. The new fuel dock, the original fuel dock is located here in the northwest corner of the harbor. We're relocating it to the northeast corner of the harbor on Dock X. Our above ground storage tanks will be kept about here. Right here's that turnaround, so right there. And the layout is conducive for the boating needs of today's boats. So right here on S Dock, we're very excited to be able to offer a dedicated charter fishing dock. We're going to have dedicated signage to each charter fisherman that wants to dock there, that lists the captain's names, their logo, their contact information, and we're going to encourage the public to walk out there on different times of the day to meet and greet the captains, hopefully book a charter.
Is that enough for all of them?
So if we need to spill out, we're going to spill it to M.
Got
Both are prepared for it.
Yep.
The phasing, so we're doing it within 4 years to ensure we don't have to displace any kind of boaters. But phase one is going to be the red phase. And the reason for that is we have to get a new fuel dock in. Plain and simple. We have to have new storage tanks for our fuel because our insurance company will not continue insuring us. So phase one is going to be in the northeast corner of the harbor. Like I said, God helped us out on that one by ripping out 2 docks last year due to the storm. So we're looking at having a new fuel dock readily available in April 1st, 2026. Nothing will be done for this year. We will be under construction, pounding pilings into the lake bed all year. And then you can expect to see docks being put in probably right around mid-May to late May, early June, depending on supply, demand, tariffs, and all that good stuff. Phase two then is green. So the community dock will be part of phase two. This will be then completed and ready to go for the 2027 season. Phase three is orange, the northwest corner of the harbor. That will be ready for 2028 season. And then purple-ish, kind of looks like on the screen, will be the last phase.
Would you leave any of the docks that are close to the cleaning station like open so charter boats or other fishing boats can swing in there, clean their fish and then leave again?
So currently we don't have any slips that are readily available for just boaters to pull in and clean their fish. However, we'll still
I just meant
allow
even for, like,
plenty
marina people.
of boat docking on the community pier. So they're allowed to pull up on the community pier and dock complimentary, and my staff will assist them in tying up, and they'll be allowed to dock there, grab a dock cart, and then cruise over to the fish cleaning station and cruise right back.
That's free of charge?
That will be free of charge for charter fishermen cleaning their fish. So if they have a cooler of fish that they need to clean and use the facilities, that will be free of charge.
Just charter fish?
Anybody fishing, if you have a cooler of fish and you need to use the property, for boats not fishing that want to come in and just sit on this dock and enjoy the sights and scenery, it will be at an hourly charge.
Thank you.
What? What did you say?
So just to clarify, she's saying that if you were a fisherman and pulling in to be able to use the amenity of the fish cleaning station, there's going to be no charge for you to pull up, tie up, go clean your fish, and head on out.
Correct. But if you're going there to have a drink at the brew house, there will be an hourly charge. And it'll be a meter.
Do you know approximately what it's, does it be a charge by foot?
It'll be like $10 per hour. It'll be at an hourly rate.
But just for a boat, like
Yes.
it's not gonna be like a foot.
No.
Okay.
We have to do that. We have a lot of boaters that
Oh, I
love to pull
understand.
up in the property and spend 12, 15, 25 hours,
Right.
depending on where they try to find a spot to sneak into. And just,
Yeah, look at that boat in a small basin last year. It sat there for
Yeah.
2 months. That guy had it made.
So it's we have to put a fee associated with it because we want honest boaters coming in and using the property and enjoying the
On that
lakes.
community pier, you know, all public fishing. When people are fishing
We
rods.
can't. There's
Don't
too
worry,
much,
Rita.
there's gonna be so much happening here,
Right.
kids and boats and movement, we can't. There's no way. I wish we could. I fish all the time. I love fishing. There's no way
Off
Probably not a
season,
good idea, well,
I can't.
but off season,
Off season, absolutely.
it'll
We're gonna
be
allow
ice
Washington-
fishing.
We already open all the gates up
Correct.
during every winter. We're gonna continue doing that with the new deck system as well.
Yep.
How many transient slips are you gonna have available during Salmonorama?
This year,
Depends how, this year?
one shot.
you'd be maybe 2.
This year, they probably have close to 15.
Yeah,
15?
it's not a lot because
So I need to get that posted.
We'll be pretty much almost 100% occupied. I
Yeah.
know we'll be working with our annual slip holders. If they're gonna be gone during certain times, we will be renting those slips. as well.
I
subleasing.
just wanna get that posted, that people know that this is happening.
Yeah, reach out to you ASAP.
Yeah,
You'll still
100%.
have gas for this year?
Absolutely. Our current fuel dock will be fully up and operational.
Carrie, I got a
What
question.
about the, like the hours? I mean, is there any way like during Samarama, you can have that open 24 hours?
24 hours would be tough.
Earlier maybe at this. Yeah.
Well, eight
You can run it from 8
Oh.
to 8.
Is it economically viable though for her to pay to put? Yeah.
Only open at night.
So I could try it out. I could try it out for a couple nights. If I don't get any business, what's the point?
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna get fill-ups and it proves to be profitable, he'll absolutely keep fuel lock open 24/7 during Samarama. But if I'm not getting the boats filling up,
I just know night fishing just becoming more popular now.
I'd be willing to entertain that. So if I can get
Yeah,
a
it's a matter of our
good
life.
number of boaters saying, I'll fill up with you, 3 AM, absolutely, we'll do it. So I'll further that conversation.
That was my question on the new gas pumps.
Yep,
When you have that all done and upgraded, would you have like a pay at the pump in case you come in at
Yes.
nighttime?
That'd be great.
insurance is questionable on
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So
Huh.
right now,
okay.
there's a few operations that allow 24/7 fill-ups, it's illegal. We're a government entity, we have to be very careful on what we do. Private owned properties can do what they want, try to move forward with that, we have to be very careful how we do that.
Oh, that's just always a tough community at nighttime and especially coming in at night, it's always closed.
So
and
you're
trying to leave in the
saying
morning.
Rivers End theoretically could do that if they wanted. But yeah, for you guys, because it's a county-owned property.
That's illegal.
Oh, illegal both sides.
It's illegal filling up after hours, you're supposed to be able to have a lieutenant hand you a fuel pump
Got
over
it.
the water.
Okay.
'Cause you're over the water.
I thought you had said that like
Oh,
private
okay.
could or something. Okay.
If they want to try to get away with it, they can, but the county, us being Racine County owned, we have to be
Sure.
very careful how
Yep.
we operate.
Like
But the
it-
24/7 being staffed during Samarama, I'd be willing to entertain that, I would. But Monday through Sunday, we're open 8 to 6 otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, during fishing tournaments, we can open earlier, stay later, if you choose.
I don't think you need 24 hour, but
If nobody's filling
a
up.
3 to 4 a.m. start to catch them, you probably get some.
You come up, you just gotta plan to stay there, you know, for 30, 45 minutes to pump fuel.
Yeah.
You know, does it make sense not to try to fill the night before? It's tough, you know?
Yep.
I hate having to come back.
I would rather see you stay open later
Sure.
One or the other.
than open early.
So coming in like 7, 8 PM, 9 PM, 10 PM?
Yeah, you're
Dark.
usually not.
Little after dark.
10:30.
At least then you're ready for the next morning.
10:30.
Sure,
Or 3 AM.
just
You,
24.
you guys are incorrigible.
No, I'm just saying.
So where's Ken's boat going?
So the new, so here's an aerial view rendering of the new property. So we have the community pier, which will be about 300 foot within the main channel of the harbor.
Yeah.
The new field dock house, which will have bathrooms. This will be our dedicated transient dock in the very northeast corner of the harbor. There's a lot more 50s, 60s, 65s, and 70s because we have a waiting list for that right now. We do. We need to fill in where the need is. Right now, we still have 30s that are available. We have 35s that are available.
Yep.
So I put in something that we can't fill right now.
That's us.
So the community pier, like I said, will be 300 feet on each side. This is actually a water feature.
That's really
Yeah,
nice.
where's Ken's boat?
Thanks.
Where's the Cooper Bud boat's gonna go?
Who's that right there, Carrie?
Over there?
He's gonna rent that dock.
This is gonna be the same one.
Depends what his company provides him. My husband, depends
Yeah.
what his company provides him.
I was just wondering where his stuff's going.
So as of right now, he's looking, the company is looking at renting that dock. Right now, they do pay for that full front dock, which is
Yeah.
very profitable for the marina.
Yeah.
How are you gonna account for the water level that raises and lower because of several times?
So they're all floating docks.
Just like we've had.
So they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you gonna make your walkways from the building onto that pier longer so
Yep.
that it doesn't, it's not as much of a steep walk down?
They're all ADA accessible gangways. So they'll come down, they'll be landing, they'll go down, come back down. So it's gonna be at an ADA accessible.
Do you have any association at all with your house?
They're a tenant.
About yours?
We're the landlord. So Racine County owns the building to rent this space out to the brew house, who's been successfully operating that restaurant now for 12, 13 years as well. So we're looking at about $32 million project over 4 years, which is being paid back by the marina.
Yep.
This is not hitting the public tax dollars in any way. The marina is making the money, paying it back like a loan. We're applying for multiple grants. We have a long list and can't read. Rates throughout the construction. Currently for a 30-foot slip, it's $2,500. When the new docks are in, with brand new, beautiful decking, slip side pump out, which will be pumping your crap weekly for you as part of these fees. It's a small increase. And these slip rates are still very much in line with our main competitors, which is McKinley Marina, Southport and Kenosha, and Northport.
So, Carrie, I'd like to say a few things. So,
Please.
you look at these prices for Reef Point, and I understand you get slips a lot cheaper down the river, but there's a difference. You add, like I've been down there for 5-6 years now. You build a family on each dock, which you talked about how we kind of broke these families up this year, which is pretty much rough for everybody. But everybody watches each other's boats.
Yeah.
Talked about when the docks broke up, Carrie was actually out there, you know, in the crappy ass weather trying to secure docks. So she's not just a clicker pointing at the machine.
I'm trying.
You have problems, they're making phone calls. Literally, people are watching the boats. If you need help, the dock hands are awesome on windy days to help you, you know, dock your boat, which, as Herb pointed out, I need that help on a regular basis, so I appreciate it, but there's a lot more to being at Reef Point than being down the river or other places.
I don't have to sleep. I explored looking down the river at one point, and I asked the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, I feel safe in here. I got my dog and my 9mm." I mean, I'm like, "That's not a place for Lily and I."
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So it is really a relationship building community, and everybody watches each other's stuff, which is something you're not gonna get in other places.
Thank you. So we also have the amenities. I'll touch base quickly on the pool, the hot tubs, gas, fire pits, gas grills. We have a full event calendar that we do provide voters free meals, free drinks, wine funds, balloon funds. We do captain-led rendezvous. We'll take a big group of voters across the lake. We'll take them to Sheboygan. We'll take them to Door County. So we got a lot of cool stuff happening in Reef Point Marina. We try to operate more like a resort than just a place to keep your boat.
What are your other prices for lower, smaller boats?
Our smallest slip is 30 feet currently.
Yeah.
We do not have any docks that are smaller than 30 feet besides sport port spots, which are for jet skis or inflatables.
Should be notable.
I'm sorry,
too.
Don. Your Robalo is.
Should be notable
little small.
too for Dale that the length of the boat for insurance reasons includes 3 feet beyond your actual measured length to keep it inside the.
Within the new docks. That will be.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if you're a 25-foot boat, you need a minimum like 28 foot for slip per the insurance that they work with. Because we've seen incidents where the pulpits or stuff stick out and boats coming down the aisle have clipped them.
And we are still dealing with a legal matter where a boat was cruising down a fairway, hit somebody that was overhanging. That insurance company is fighting that boater that was overhanging, and that boater is being blamed for overhanging to the fairway. And there was
Zero overhang?
We cannot allow overhang. So there's a lot of lawsuits going on right now where boaters are being blamed, those that are overhanging into the fairway, unless you're willing to take 100% responsibility for anybody that hits you for the damage to their boat. Which that is new. That is new.
It's America. Anyone can sue anybody for any reason, whether they win or not, you know, but apparently that's become a hot topic.
Carrie, under the new
Yeah.
construction,
Yes.
do you cover anything on the kayak,
Do I cover any?
on the kayak stuff that you?
So we are offering kayak storage. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we're
cool.
actually going to have awesome racks that you can utilize for kayaks, and we're gonna have bike storage for a lot of scooter crap, and a lot of electric bikes are happening right now in kayaks, and a lot of those.
So on the kayak thing, that's two turns, guys gotta even have to watch out for safety a little bit more, because again, everybody that's in and out of the channel, you don't see the kayaks, but on the other side is, if you have your own kayak, you're gonna be able to do a lot more fishing.
Thank you, no, I appreciate that. Obviously, the marina. So the marina's mix of tenants includes a lot of local people, a lot of Racine natives, a lot of Milwaukee County, a lot of Illinois residents. A lot of people out of the county are bringing in a lot of money into the community. They truly are. They're stopping, they're getting off the highway, they're stopping at the gas station, they're filling up, they're getting a sandwich from Arby's, you know, connected to the gas station. They're cruising into town, they're stopping at the Festival Foods and getting groceries before they continue heading down. They're spending money in the area. So the economic impact for this marina is huge for the community, for the local restaurants, for everything. And it spills out. It's just not the downtown area. It's a lot of money being brought into this area because of this marina. So truly, this revitalization for this marina will spill over and affect everyone. And it's going to bring a lot of money into the community.
If it spills over, the mayor will pick it up.
Jim, leave it to you. So we're promoting this everywhere. A lot of boaters are aware of it already. We're trying to get it out to the public as much as possible. I appreciate Josh inviting me to speak. If you guys have any questions at all, I'm at the marina all the time. So just feel free to swing by and chat with me, and we can
And
find a
even
spot for you.
the
to let me know.
concrete piers, the concrete walkways that the piers are coming off and up, they staying in or are they getting replaced also?
They're staying in. They're just being completely demoed top and bottom. to make
Redecked.
room for the new utilities.
Yeah. One thing also, you've mentioned a couple of things about carrying the operation. When this all was announced, one of the things I appreciate is that she made clear that with the redesign, no existing slip holders would be forced out of positions. They had enough slips to accommodate each of our smaller boats that were already there. So in the reallocation, they're simply taking empty spaces and better utilizing it for the demand where it's at. But those of us who are there, there's still room. As she said, there's still, even with a quarter of the docks out, there's still 15 slips available if you wanted to go in this year.
And there's a lot of SU members that are up there right now that are all willing to help. You also get to peek at somewhat with people's gears running, because we all set up the night before, for the most part.
Yeah, until she took all those charter boats and put them away from us.
So I have a question during the,
Yep.
construction period. Docking my boat, for example, in the east wind, I'm gonna be playing a lot of bumper boats.
So you give us a call, I have 2 dock ins out there waiting for you to pull you in.
So that was gonna be my question.
Yeah.
We offer 24/7 docking.
Okay, so it's not, I mean, obviously don't call when you're banging off the other boat. Yeah,
24/7 docking assistance. Call us as you're entering the mouth of the harbor. I'll have 2 guys out there.
great.
Yeah.
I found that by the time you get to the mouth, if you radio it, 90% of the time you get there.
We'll make sure it's 100%.
Oh, it's on. The rest of the-
bringing in box now, are those for here?
Those are for the condos, the lakeshore condos.
I thought.
We did not work with them on the revitalization. They wanted to try to strategically plan theirs alongside ours to help with their costs, mobilization specifically for the barge that came in to demo it, which worked, right? But theirs is a completely separate project. They're using the Bell Harbor site
I never did like
at a
it.
small opportunity.
So that's not
that whole area right there, that's all separate. That first handle.
Correct. Those
Yeah.
docks that just, yep, those,
They've always been.
those docks that just came in are for Lake Shore condos. Yes,
So how's your building? I mean, is it still structurally sound or?
barely.
So there's a lot of issues
A lot of
after
problems,
this.
internal issues, plumbing issues, problems. It's an old building, and it was built over a landfill.
Right, well, it was built over
All
old
of
water.
Yeah, all this has been
Yeah.
built.
So
Yeah, I
there's been
remember
a
when they
lot,
dumped all that.
there's been a lot of movement over the years, and structurally, there's a lot of problems with that building, along with the buildings that we put. It's an old rock, it's an old
Right.
building.
Are they replacing the building?
We are renovating. We'll leave that very vague, because truly, we're performing structural studies right now to see whether or not the buildings are worth updating or tear down, what's gonna be more cost efficient.
And I would have to say, Carrie, since you took over operations, I've noticed like you're always putting something back into it. Every year you're adding something, renovating something, maintaining the pool area. So
Thank
it's
you,
nice to see, you know.
appreciate it, we're trying.
Because I think for a while there before, the company was just taking out and really didn't have nothing to put back into it.
They were taking as much as they could make it.
Yeah.
When it's all new, it's easy to defer on maintenance. When it's 25 to 40 years old,
There's not enough money
Yeah,
to maintain the. property.
exactly. You got to constantly reinvest.
But
Do you currently, or in existence, are you gonna have rental for the weekend or the week?
we will absolutely have transient slips available.
Yep.
Throughout the season, just give us a call.
That's how I started. There was 4th of July weekend when we first got our little water ski boat for our anniversary. We rented a slip for that weekend just for like 3-4 days. It was fantastic.
We try to really make it a family-friendly atmosphere too. I mean, you see kids running around everywhere now.
Yep.
They're coming in the shit store, they're getting ice cream, running in the pool, running down the fuel dock. It truly is the type of environment you want to see in a boating community.
Yep.
And she's good at keeping us in line when we get out of here.
I try. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bradley's got 2 more spots. You know what, Bradley?
Bradley, I'll take them both.
Did you? That's okay.
They worked out good, didn't it?
All right, a few more things. I don't know that I can get this video from Bob, but let's see if I can. No, that's not going to work. Bob, I will share the video out on Facebook. But Bob and Melissa found a video, great little hack for backing up your trailer with the camera. It basically just shows if you look, the wire that holds the trailer on the side, the back hatch, you can loop it around the thing and put it down about 45 degrees so you can, if your truck doesn't have a view of the ball from the camera, you can get a view of it to go straight down. So I'll put that out on the Facebook page. And now I clicked out of this. Yeah. Upcoming meetings. Salmonorama committee meetings, as Jim was talking about, we're always looking for help. March 17th is the next one, coming up on Monday. Then following that will be another committee meeting the first Monday of the month. So it's always the first and third at this point. We're in full stride to get us to the event. Membership meeting April 9th. We've got 2 guest speakers for that one. That will be, who's the first?
Brandon.
What's that?
Brandon.
Yeah, I was going to Brandon from the DNR, and then Dave Jankowski on the insurance side. And a few more, and then we're at vendor night. Vendor night, we will have the board decided again to host the pizzas. We've got vendors being lined up. I think there's already like 5 or 6 set. And then some of the key dates. Net pens were announced. Monday the 14th is the drop-in date for the fish. So
Probably gonna do it the 12th then,
for the
hopefully.
planning on.
Or if it interferes with Bradley, I mean, we could probably do it Sunday. But
What would it?
we'll keep Sunday for a rain day.
What would it interfere for Bradley?
Bradley's April 12th for the other
Oh, that's the poker
poker
night.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I
We
think
could
there's
do it
enough
early,
of us
too.
that I don't play poker. I'll be down there.
We've done earlier.
Yeah.
Well, Lord? Yeah.
I lose enough money to you guys in jackpot. Yeah, I lose enough money to you guys in jackpot. I
No,
don't
if
need
you want
to
help, come see me. Obviously,
Yeah.
The next meeting is April 9th, so we can talk about them too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple hours, right? 2 hours ish.
It's not
You know,
bad.
we're pulling out the net pens, making sure everything is tied down and
Last
put in
year we had
place.
so many people. I mean, while
A lot of
one
us
head
stood
was
around.
going in, the other group went and got the other one, and by the time we got back, it was getting
Yeah.
towed in anyway.
I think it took
Better
it.
than less.
Yeah, it took us like 2 hours because of the armory we had. So let's
And we
make
had
that
to have a
happen.
half-hour drinking beer, so it really took an hour.
Beer, how did I miss the beer?
And then
Did you get the beer?
River Cleanup is the following Saturday, the 19th.
Oil.
So on that one, you know, I've already got that posted on the site, and we're getting a lot of buy-in from the public already. So we should have a good exposure, not only from our club, but from the public being involved in that. And then we're there, Jackpot Series and Salmon-a-Rama Days, guys. It's here. So as Jim was saying, we only have, what was it, like,
A little over 4 months.
yeah, it was like 120 days until Salmon-a-Rama. So again, the sponsor letters are there. That drives the funding for our club beyond anything else. It's great to have members. It helps us with our voice when we're expressing concern on things. But there is nothing that funds this club like our success in having Salmon-a-Rama go well.
Although Jim likes doing everything by himself.
Yeah.
No,
So
any help is appreciated. We're all trying to knock
yeah, and
big doors in and help.
by the way, those flyers you see, we're gonna have 2 of them this year. And last year and the year past, I had one created that kind of merged the festival and the fishing, and it was a little noisy. Jim had suggested breaking them apart. I went to my aunt, who's graphic design for Abbott, and she was gonna produce something for us. Jason, in his spare time with a friend of his at work who plays with Chat GTP, produced these like on the fly for us. I looked at it, I'm like, well, the heck with my aunt. They're phenomenal. So, you know, we're going to get these dispersed out to all the sites for the tournament to drive up awareness. There are places in Michigan where we have a weigh-in port, and there's equipment manufacturers in the same city that hadn't even heard of our tournament. It just blew us away. So we're going to get these out on that side, on our side, tackle shops, manufacturers, public places, just to bring the awareness out and hopefully draw up crowds in that. And then we're going to do a second poster focused on the festival local stuff here in Racine. So that one we're holding off on until we get all the bands locked up. I think we're 2 bands short and a couple of events short, and then we'll produce one similar.
One thing, for Salmon-a-Rama, you wanna get some time put in before the contest, we're gonna have about 750 to 1,000 pounds of cheese we need to chunk down from the size we get it from the vendor.
Yeah.
And get fatter.
So that's why you do it every year, you gotta cut that stuff yourself?
We break it down to the size that we want to.
Oh.
So it's already curded, but we get it a little smaller.
Some of them will
So
come
it
in.
cooks different?
No,
Yeah.
some of them will come in.
So it cooks consistently.
Oh, I thought you guys were apart.
Oh, no.
No.
They're curds, but you know, you can have a curd the right size, and then as he said, you can have one that's the size of a tennis ball.
We just need to break that down.
Take a look at the event date. A lot of times we have a printout of all the tournaments we have and tournaments that other clubs surrounding us have.
Yeah.
That
This year we
something
want to-
that's gonna be out sooner than later, or
You
my
know who-
wife is one.
Yeah, you know who's done that really well is Salmon Unlimited Illinois.
Yeah.
That's where I stole it from
Is that
last
where-
year.
all right.
I will see if they have produced one. I'm sure they have because they've got some volunteers that keep up on that.
right.
And as a member of their club, I can take it and then probably pilfer it to ours. Yeah. Jim Step. That's it. Are there any other announcements? Bradley, did Bradley's got the last one? Did he draw it?
No, he just.
Somebody won? Again? Nick, you won again?
Irv didn't win?
Maybe a different Nick? Yeah.
Irv probably put Nick's name on there.
I don't know. That's it for the night. Help with sponsorships, help with Salmon-a-Rama, volunteers for Jackpot. Thank you all for coming, guys. See you next month. Oh, sure, yeah. I'm just saying I'm aware of the group and Well, he was off. I know he said he could make like 11 by 17, the bigger size. I would like to see like at least 20 in every Michigan port if we get the weights, if they can help disseminate them out. And then on this side, we have trout already. We definitely want to get
Just right outside.
if he's willing to do that, but yeah.
Right outside that one.
Yeah, he was saying his size limit was like it's like the kind of like the poster I had last year. It's like 11 by 17. Whatever that it should format well. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get a few of these guys to also volunteer their votes.
It's always good seeing come by more often.
Oh, for saving a raffle. Jim, yeah. That would be a conversation for him. He's proposed similar things, and it's just a matter of I got so much going on with the club. I help with what I can, but I leave that steering with him. Yeah. Well, we have volunteer center bringing on the evening. Scouts will be doing all the litter cleanup and some other sort of things. Rad is making a lot of the I'd say about 3/4, but we need to balance it. So we don't need it from our club. What we do need, the big ones that we have, the skills are in the script. We need fish ID in the leads. Because I don't want Jim, I need Jim to be like last year, around the turn. So this morning, and you know, 5 hours and 6 hours. Yeah, for the leads. We got it's fishing. They can fill in a couple of liners. We're not occupying with a 10-year-old. You know, but also it's not. If everybody gave one shot, we'd be done. But what I told Jim, I'm like, yeah, you gotta yell at these guys are especially the even when fishing, like they, so that's where we've been doing
Are you working?
Wait, who would be? So for them to come down, I would love for them to come down. I honestly want the second group out of Racine also host, you know, where there's so they get the structures for middle races. Oh, do they? Jim needs to know this because we're looking for activities. Jim, there's an event. The outing. So
Right, sure.
Yes. Yes. No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need to let them know that that was their change because it's in.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I'll reach out if, you know, the next week or so, just, get ahead of that. And then, when I work for that, send me that email. Did it have my work email?
I don't know. Let me close off the stream in live video.